right, so this is actually from Korea. This is in your neighborhood. And you said that you had seen this article before. Um,
But tell the peeps what
but
it's all about.
so I'm just gonna read the first couple lines. It says, "The Seoul City government has sparked anger for offering advice to pregnant women that includes ensuring their husbands have clean clothes and enough to eat while they are in hospital giving birth." Um, so the government offered advice to pregnant women to make sure that their husbands have enough food to eat and that they have clean clothes, which my first reaction is just learn how to make your own food, you lazy bastards. Learn how to iron your clothes, you lazy bastards. And I don't say that specifically towards Koreans. I say that specifically towards any man that can't fix his own food and clean his own clothes. What are you? A baby? Are you 4 years old? Seriously. But what is sad, and I know that you have experienced this. Um, I've seen this. I've seen this time and time again while living in Korea, where um, university students all they do is order takeout food because one, because it's extremely convenient, but two, because they don't know how to cook food. They have to have their parents still do so much for them, and I commend Korean parents in taking care of their children. Man, do they take care of their children, and they want the best for their children, which I totally get that. Um, I don't know that many people who had to take out loans to go to school, um, but they're crippling their children in being able to be independent and creative thinkers, which is just it's so sad. And then when the government has to offer advice to pregnant women because their husbands can't cook their own food and clean their own clothes, which I will say this is, devil's advocate. Korean people work a lot,
They work their
and
asses
I
off.
they work their asses off, and a lot of people don't have the luxury of being able to do that. Um, but it's a whole cultural thing, and there are so many different aspects to it. You totally understand this. Um, a lot of men, it's expected that they go to hueshiks, which is like an after work meeting where people eat and drink. Um, and if you don't do this, you're kind of shunned, and um, it affects how you get promoted and how you get paid. All of these things, and I mean, there's so many different aspects to it, but it's so sad that women who are already having to deal with so much are. It's not that they're being forced to do this, but it's almost that way. If the government is pushing this advice on them, it's like, hey, I know you're like making a baby, but
You
make sure
you
that you're
still got to do your wifely duties.
yeah,
Yeah.
which
Well, this has been. You said before it had been taken down, right? So
yeah, it was.
the backlash was so big it was taken down.
Yeah, which I'm super happy about that.
Yeah. Well, this isn't the first time this has happened. The government has also posted guidelines for high school students about
Hmm.
like taking care of appearances. Like women should take care of their appearances because the men
And
are.
that's in this article too.
Yeah, I see it's at the end. Because the men are supposed to take care of things financially, so the women have to take care of all the other stuff. Um, and I mean, you're right. It's one of those things that it's I see it with my students or with people I know where mom has basically done everything for their son, and so when the son then gets married, he doesn't know how to do anything. So the wife becomes a sort of pseudo mom that she has to basically do everything, even if she is also working. Like I know couples that both the man and the woman are working, and the woman still has to do everything plus work because the guy doesn't know how to use a washing machine. He doesn't know like how to turn on the friggin' stove. Like it's quite sad. And I don't know about you, but I remember, I don't know if this could be a cultural thing, but like in some cultures when your mom is cooking or whatever, the kids will also sort of kind of be involved or watch or help mom by just being there and seeing how mom does things. But it doesn't seem to happen here at all. Um, it's like
I think it's very rare
if a
there.
boy is curious and tries to see what his mom is doing, his mom will like shoo him away and like go do your homework or something else. Like I'll feed you soon. And then so he or she never really learns because it's happening a lot with women now too. Like there are a lot more females that just don't know how to cook Korean food or Korean dishes because their moms
Yeah,
never
yeah,
taught them. It's
yeah.
you're right. It's the whole they want their best for their kids, but they're doing it in such a heavy way that it's handicapping them more than
Oh
actually
yeah,
helping them.
yeah.
So, but going back to
Well,
this, the pregnancy thing, it's just like, wow. I really don't know like what was going through the minds of the people in the government where it's like, you know what? You know who's having a hard time? All these guys with pregnant women. So let's tell the pregnant women what to do. It's like, how far removed from reality do you have to be to think that this was a good idea?
yeah. Well, and I would have such a hard time when my wife was pregnant in Seoul, and there were these pink seats on the subway that are for pregnant women only. There are separate seats for elderly, disabled, injured people, but these pink seats were for pregnant women only. And I would see so many people sitting in these seats, from teenagers to elderly to um, the middle-aged businessman. And on on a couple of occasions, literally, there would be a pregnant woman standing there, and she was so afraid to tell these people to get up. I had to say it for them. And this has gotten me in trouble a lot because I have this very strong sense of justice. But I've literally said,
you're very vocal about it.
yeah, and it's not the greatest thing, but in situations like that, I've literally said, and on one occasion, I said, "Oh, congratulations, you're pregnant," to a dude.
Oh man.
And and they just look at me like, "What? I don't understand." And I was like, "Oh, well, you're sitting in this seat, so you must be pregnant because this seat is only for pregnant women." And
I'm surprised you didn't get punched in the face while you were living here at least once.
well, we can talk about that a different time. But and it's I know it's so hard because you're living in a new country. You don't understand everything about the culture. Um, but yeah, these situations are so hard to um, to not say anything, especially for pregnant women.